Hello everyone, it's Janette Crafty Dawk here with Stitch of the Month. Let's have a look. So recap, we've done our straight stitch and I went back in and did the little straight stitch words and then our back stitch, and I'm loving to see what everybody's doing. I've got a few up on the group that are joining in, which is absolutely wonderful. So I'll just pop that back in the bag. And today it's stem stitch. Now I looked in the book. This is the stem stitch I usually do. Then it shows, let me just make sure, like the sun. Then it shows it what they call encroaching, which is all so that it's very, very close together, and it almost gives you a satin stitch look. And then the whipped. So you do your satin stitch, your stem stitch, and then you just go back in and whip over it. Which I'm going to do those three today to show you. Then you've got a Portuguese knotted, which looks reasonably easy, but I think we might do that one once we've done the basics. Then every now and again we'll throw in a different one. Pardon me. Then you've got your stem stitch raised, which you do sort of like a little shape, and then you go in and fill that little area in with your stem stitch, which is a bit amazing. So that one I'd have to study, I think. But today we'll get on to the basic one. Before that, I want to show you what I've been playing with. I think everybody has seen my little ice cream cone. Now all these things are, I'll put the playlist down, the link down below to Pay It Forward by Lisa Pay. Amazing artist. And all these patterns are free. This has got little, my forceps that I stuff things with. Then I did, I don't know if I showed you these or not, like little caravans. And they are little needle books. You put your scissors, I haven't got a little pair of scissors in here, but your scissors. Here I'll put some needles. Here you can put little clips or safety pins over there. I just put a little sign, I just embroidered words on there. Here's for your pins. Right, your pins will go in there. And then here I've got a little needle threader that will go in there. And that just does up, and that's your little... So how cute is that? But then, look at that. Actually, if I get them out of the way, you might see it a bit better. Isn't that just beautiful? It's like a little vintage sewing machine. And all these patterns are on Lisa's channel. And she just loves you to share and do your thing. So my girlfriend saw this one and said, I want it. She's got a friend who's a sewer, and she is a beautiful sewer, this friend. I thought, oh golly. But yeah, I think it's just beautiful. So enough of that. Let's get on with the stitching. Let's get the right specs on and let's do it. Now, once I did my stem stitch, I always do something, and this is what I decided to do this time. And it's just all stem stitch, and it's just basically like the shape of a tree trunk, and then I just did some branches without leaves and all, just to practice the stitch. It's more like about doing that than anything else. So that's my little piece for today. Okay, so we start off with, and I might keep going on with my brown. So I hope everybody's well, and hope you're all enjoying this. It's I don't want to do anything real in depth to start with. I just want you to enjoy the process of, you know, learning the basic stitches so that you can just add a little bit of something to your journal cards or your paper crafting or whatever you're doing. So basically I've drawn the lines just so that you can see what happens. Now you basically come in, in on the line, okay, and it's really hard for me to see if I'm in, I should be right there, if I stay there because the sun's shining down outside. Then you come onto the line, but you just go to the side of the stitch that you've just done. Now there are a lot of different ways of doing this. So in there on the line and just to the side of the stitch. Okay, and then you come back out again and then just to the side of that stitch again. Doesn't matter if you go a little bit behind it, that's fine. Okay, I think I'm staying in camera. Okay, so in there, just pull that a little bit tighter. So you don't want it puckering, but you want it so that it's flat. And just to the side, whoops, of there. Oh, that sun's bright. My eyes don't like too much sun at the moment. Okay, I try my darndest to stay in shot. And again. Now this stitch is you use as a stem stitch, but like you can see with those others that I showed you, you know, there's very many variations that you can use it. You can use it, you know, how we did the words and the letters in the back stitch. You can actually do it in stem stitch as well. It's just, you know, what takes your fancy at the time, I suppose, what you feel like doing. And to me, I mean, if you were going to go into competitions and, you know, enter your work, you know, to get marked and all the rest of it, to, you know, like royal shows and all that jazz, I guess you need to go by the book. But my experience, and when I was doing wool embroidered blankets and I'd want to do a garden scene or something like that, I'm sure I just used to sometimes make up my own stitches. It looked good. It looked like it was a stitch. And that was before I really, I guess, started looking at what I was doing and looking at books and things like that. So, you know, I guess you get like, what do they call it, poetic license, or, you know, do your own thing. I'm sure no one's going to come out and say, hey, that's done wrong. And if they do, just say, well, it's how I want it to look. And you can see sort of at the side, you've got little bumps there. So I'll just finish that little bit off. And then we'll whip into the next one. I was just thinking there's something else I wanted to show you too. Oh, I know what it was. I've found an apron, and I'm pretty sure it was nothing that Mum did, but it had some stem stitches on it as well that I thought I might just show you. I think it's got a few other stitches on it too. just up to the side there. Now you can do it very well on the slant, and one of the books that I looked at, it was an older book, it really sort of went more like that. It was a real side on, whereas this one is more straight. And I guess the next one will be sort of more side on. Okay, so am I still? Yeah. So I'm quite enjoying doing this, and I am enjoying my sewing projects. A lot of these projects are for a craft shop that I want to sell some stuff in. So there we go, that's your stem. Now when you do this, I was watching Adriana's, and I'll put her link to her channel down, and she actually, when she does her stem stitch, she doesn't, you know, if you've got a piece of material that is perhaps hand dyed or tie dyed, or the rust technique or the ice technique, and you get patterns over the page, follow the pattern with your stem stitch and it looks amazing. And use different thickness threads to just emphasize those patterns. Another one that's really good at doing that is, and I just love her work, is Carol over at Oak House Journals. So that's that one. I'll just whip and get this apron. I'm pretty sure it's right on top there. I'll just be a minute. Okay, so this is the apron. I'm pretty sure Mum would have bought it, or somebody made it for her. But see there, you've got your stem stitch going along there. And that's, yeah, and these leaves are just straight stitches, which is amazing. So, you know, you don't have to do anything. These petals are just straight stitch. We've done the straight stitch. Next month we're going to do cross stitch. But yeah, so that yellow, and it looks effective. Okay, so on with the next one, which is our stem encroaching, a variation of stem stitch. The needle is angled across the line, being stitched rather than kept parallel to the line. This gives a wider looking stitch. Okay, so let's do that. I'll use what thread I have here. This is evidently a applique knot. You just wrap it around your needle and pull it down the thread and you've got yourself a knot. Okay, so we're back up in, we start here on the line. Okay, so we're back again, and this time, instead of going like this as we were doing, we go this way. So take a little bit on that side and go, you actually start on the off the line. Get it right, Janette. See, we all make mistakes, don't we? We need lots of them. So that is just down, you put your thread down the needle, roll it around. You can do it depending on the thickness of your thread. And then you've got your little knot at the end. I can't see properly in that. So do your first stitch there, just off the line. This is why I'm doing the line. It's easy to practice with that. And then instead of going straight along the line there, you go under but at an angle. I guess it's almost like you're doing a cross stitch. So there, back up into that hole again. And then the next one you do next to it. and next to that one. Okay, and the same deal next to it, and next to it. Keep your thread on that side. Yep. So this one, I guess you'd need to practice. Well, I will, to get it the same length. Another way that you could do it is to put a line down here and one up there, and then you've got the other line to guide you. So that one is in that side and up. Whoops, up there. Okay, so I won't do many more of those because that's the stitch. Okay, and then you'll end up having let's just pull that through. You'll end up having along the line, and I'll put it up at the end, like a stem stitch all the way along. Okay, now the next one I'll do with a perhaps if I do it with this, and I might use 6 strands. Oh, the whole voice is going a bit croaky today. Let's get the 6 out. Where did I put them away? There we go. Okay, so I'll just take off that, and this is, you don't have to use the 6 strands, but I thought I'll just use that, and to show, just see if I can get them through there, to show you what it looks. That one's not going to go through, or is it? Oh yeah, beautiful. To show you what the whip looks like up the other side. Okay, so we'll do a around there again, and then we start off the same as we did at the top, on the line, in. So this will be quite thick, but that's fine. So on the line and just off the line. So there's 3 variations of the one stitch that you can play with, and that would look nice done even wider as a little fence or something in a garden. Or so there's lots of different things that you can use them for. When you finish this one, you just basically square it off, and then it, just bring it down so that it to that stitch, then go up to a bit further, and then just so perhaps 3 stitches just to make it square across there, if you want to. So this afternoon I'm going to be making, I've got 4 of those little sewing machines cut out, so I'm going to be playing with those and stitch some of the black while in the daylight, and then I can do the rest while I'm watching telly with Pete tonight. And we got the little fella tomorrow. So my play days, I usually have Thursday, Friday, Saturday that I can play out in the craft room. And gosh, they've gone quick this weekend. Okay. This one, to me, feels quicker than the other one, but perhaps it's just because I haven't done that one before. I mean, I've done satin stitch, and to me it's very similar to the satin stitch. Whoops. And like I said, I'm doing this in 6 strands just basically to show you the effect of the whip. And I'm doing the stitches just a little bit bigger. Get up there. Two more. And that's that one. Get up in there. Yep. Okay. So there. So that's that one. Whoops. And then I'll just do a bit of the brown. So this is the DMC embroidery floss, and this is the DMC pearl perle. Oh, come on, this one. Sometimes this will go on for me, and other times it'll won't. Find if I wriggle the needle back across my finger, sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. No, let's just fold it over then. But you're all telling me to do that. Then I still just wriggle it backwards and forwards. No, you beggar. If I got a needle with a bigger eye, it might help, mightn't it? Let's just go and do that. Wait a minute. Bit of overkill, but that's okay. Yeah, just wriggle it down and she's right. And then, okay. Okay, so then with this one you start the same spot here at the end, and then you go into that next here where you went from here back. So you go in there, then you come back over again, back in there. Can you see that? Yep. In there again. And that's what they call a stem stitch whipped. Whoops, just bashed the... And I did it again. Just gives that. I think I've missed one right there. I should have gone in there. Should have gone in there. Let's get it undone. I can't. I think I said once before I used to hate unpicking things. My mum used to say to me, if a job's worth doing, you better unpick it. And she'd say, tack things down. I think, oh, what a waste of time. And I find myself doing it and just saying, thanks, Mum, I'm doing it for you. And it does make the difference. Okay, so we'll start again. Okay, so in that one. Oops, sorry. That one. Into that one. That looks better. Yes, it does. So they're the three variations, I guess you'd call them, of stem stitch. Oh, just let's get that on. It curls up a bit. And that's what I've done just for my example that I've got on the page. And I will do my stem stitch writing, and I'm going to go around it in the stem stitch, but you don't need to watch me play with that. So that'll be when I upload it. I'll have pics at the end. So that's that one, and that looks lovely, doesn't it? It's almost like couching it down. Couching is just stitching something down. Okay, so there you go, stem stitch. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll give it a go. Till next time, happy crafting, and bye for now.